Making his way to the ring from Manhattan, New York, weighing in at 130 pounds, Ryan Outlaw.
Alright, everybody. I am here back after my absence on, what was it, Friday. I wasn't feeling too great. Unfortunately, been having stomach issues for the past couple days. Still having them, but I guess you could say that I'm more, well enough than I was for the past couple days. I don't know how I'm going to get rid of it. Honestly, like, I've been drinking water, been drinking coffee, been doing anything to kind of help with this problem, and nothing has seemed to work. But however, at least I can actually move and I can actually function, because I remember when I was playing with Zinix for Rocket League, when I was playing with him in his amazing stream, I couldn't move. I actually went down to grab some ginger ale was searching around in the basement, and my mom's fiance has a man cave set up there. He's got like 4 or 5 TVs with big freaking recliners, and there came to a point where I had to actually sit down because I couldn't move. And that's the worst feeling, is when like your stomach hurts so much to where you can't move. It's like when you eat so much and you're stuffed and you got to start moving around to get your, your digestive tract moving around so that your food can digest. It's kind of like that, but it's constant. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm just gonna have to man up like I have and kind of deal with it. And that's what we're doing. But before we get into what you guys came here for, which is the matches, obviously, I'd like to first of all thank Dozer for that amazing TikTok video that featured me and many other amazing people. I liked the song that went with it. I thought it was perfect. Like a clean face, I don't discriminate. Yeah. That was freaking awesome, and I freaking laughed my ass off at that. So, kudos to Dozer for that one. But also, I think something is really cool that I really want to drink a gallon of laxative clear. That's exact, dude. I've been doing that. I've taken 2 of those. I actually got prescribed one. I've been taking 2 of those, and nothing has worked. See, like, my body is so weird where, like, medications, I've almost become immune to them. No matter if it's, like, over-the-counter stuff, or, like, when you go into the allergy section, or, your whatever, and no relief. And I've had this kind of issue since I was like little. Except, when I was little, I was having issues at school, which was even worse. Because at school, mommy's not gonna be there to to help me. But hopefully I can figure out something, because I'm kind of getting sick of feeling this way, and it's been going on for like a week now, and it's really bad because like at this point, like I need to either figure out something or end up going to the hospital, and I know what they're gonna do at the hospital. I know exactly what they're gonna do, like they do with everyone that has this problem. But let's just say, like, I'm a man, I can man up and deal with it. But aside from that, I have some news, and the news is this. I was talking to Slev. For those of you that don't know Slev, he is an amazing human being, real funny. Slev86, Twitch partner push there. I plugged his channel. Go follow him as he's trying to hit that partner push that he's been working so hard at. So, you may know them. You may know Slev and the Real Fat Tony, and they recently started doing their own podcast. Just about anything, and they call themselves the Brew Boys, and they talk for about 2 hours on whatever. The viewers get to select a topic, or at least that's what. I wish I had a shout out command. I need to make one. They literally just talk about whatever, and that's pretty much it. They talk about whatever, and they just have at it. And so I came up with this idea because I literally went on a chat where I had a just chatting stream that was about 7 hours long. And to date, that is the longest. Zinix, we should steal their idea in podcast. That was the longest stream I ever did to this date. And honestly, like, when I first started streaming, I never thought that I would actually like take it seriously. I never thought that I would actually do something with it. I thought it was just going to be one of those things, yeah, I hop on every once in a while, I don't have a schedule, I hop on whenever, whatever. And that's what it kind of was until I started, yeah, that one went on for 7 hours, Dozer. When I start talking, I can't stop. And I think that's also a bad thing, but I think that's also a good thing. Because a lot of people like talking to me, whether it's it doesn't matter what topic it is. A lot of people just like talking to me just because they like talking to me. And it's awesome. And I definitely enjoyed that conversation that we had about RCW, which is what you're seeing right now. And doesn't take it seriously, doesn't have a schedule. I never thought it was something that I would actually end up taking seriously, and even the RCW idea I didn't think I would take seriously. Reason being is because I'm one of those people that I'm pretty sure you can relate to this, or people that are like this, where they get into something for a while, whether it's a video game or anything, and then they're kind of like, I don't want to do it anymore. And that's exactly what I thought I was going to do. Like, I've always loved wrestling, but, I'll never stop watching it. But in terms of this, I have to write scripts. There's a lot of work that goes into doing this show, and I thought I wasn't cut out for it. Especially with doing college and stuff on top of that, too. But fortunately, we've gained a fan base, no matter how small or big it is, where, it kind of encouraged me to do it more. And then, gotta save an old lady from her diabetes, love you both. Well, good luck with that, Dozer. You probably gotta get her an insulin shot, I would imagine. Probably her blood sugar's too low. And she just forgot to take her insulin. But I don't want to assume things, but, that's probably what I would assume. But I'd like to thank all of you for making the show what it is, and that's why it still continues. But anyways, back to the news. Slev and I were talking, because I love the way Slev and Tony do their podcast. I honestly, I didn't know what to think when they were going to do it. But I think it was Tony that was on that section of his stream where it just got really real. We started talking about life. We started talking about whatever, and it was just kind of whatever, and that's what kind of inspired their podcast. Was kind of just that moment in the stream where you're not really paying attention to what's going on, or you get on a topic and you start talking about it, and before you know it, it turns into something that you never thought would turn into. Some of the conversations that I end up having, we could talk about gaming, and then all of a sudden, it turns into this real philosophical Greek philosophy conversation, and it's just kind of weird how that happens. But with that being said, the idea that I had for a podcast and what it has to do with Slev is we're both wrestling fans. We're both diehard wrestling fans. And that's really how we bonded as friends over the Twitch platform. And Tony and Slev kind of really inspired me to do my own podcast. And it's going to focus primarily on wrestling. It's going to take one of my streaming days. So I stream Mondays, Wednesdays, Fridays, normally at 1 o'clock. So it's 1:30 right now. It's going to fluctuate. There's not going to be a set in stone day that today's the day we're doing the podcast. It's either going to be Monday, Wednesday, or Friday. And the reason why is because I don't really know how this podcast is going to go because we haven't done the first episode yet. But once I get sort of a feel for it, we're going to try and have some more structure to it. It's just going to take a couple kinks because I have to See, I'm only doing this on my laptop. I don't have the like dual monitor system or anything like that. So I have to figure out a bunch of settings, which I'm pretty sure Slev can help me out with. We're probably going to do a lot of test streams on Friday, because that's when we're supposed to be doing the episode, is on Friday, the first episode. And we're probably going to run a couple test streams before we get that going and make sure that everything is working tip-top shape and what it's supposed to be doing. So what is it going to entail? Well, first it's called the angle, which in wrestling terms, an angle means like a fictional storyline. So, you know, it kind of fits with what the topic is. And the topic, the main like idea is wrestling. Like the main thesis is wrestling. But there's a lot of different subtopics within wrestling that you can talk about. Characters, writing, storylines, building characters, the fan base, pops, which are like when the crowd gets wild or whatever. You know, there's tons of different subtopics of the main topic that is wrestling that can be talked about. And since we had that 7-hour stream where we talked about what I do for this show and how I create the characters, as in like Brian Outlaw and the Outlaws and stuff like that. So if we can talk about it for 7 hours, then I'm pretty sure we can talk about it for 2 hours, or give or take, on an episode of a podcast. And also I was really inspired by a couple of friends of mine that went to college that have their own podcasts, that do it on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and stuff like that. And here's the plan for it. So every episode, or at least we're going to try and do it every week. That's what I want to do. I want to try and do it at least every week, once a week, along with the other stuff that I do for streaming. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to kind of do it like sort of like Tony does it. What he does is he streams it and then he puts it on his YouTube channel afterwards. That's what I do with the RCW stuff. So that's what I'm thinking of doing. But I'm also thinking of taking it a step further and putting it on Spotify and putting it on other platforms for you guys to listen to. You know, kind of just take that step further. As far as how I'm going to do that, I don't know yet. But that's something that I've been wanting to do. And we're gonna take it, and you know, hopefully it's gonna be something fun. That's what I really want to do. I could talk to Slev for hours anyway, but I imagine him as a wrestling fan and him, you know, being around in the WWF and WCW days, you know, and watching it way before when I was born, you know, it gives a different perspective, because you talk to those people who have been around when it was WCW versus WWF or WWE, and you know, it was a totally different ballgame in the wrestling entertainment world. So it should be very interesting. I plan to have guests on the show. And honestly, you don't need to know. And honestly, these guests, not every guest is going to be wrestling endowed. Not every guest is going to know everything there is to know about wrestling, unless they're as big of a wrestling fan as I am or Slev. And that's okay, because a lot of the topics that we're going to be talking about that are in wrestling have to do with other things too. You know, like apply to real life. And other aspects of entertainment, so you guys can chime in on that, even if you're not a wrestling fan and don't watch wrestling every week or whatever. There's a lot of stuff that is in wrestling that definitely applies to other forms of entertainment, such as music, TV, whatever. And we'll definitely talk about that stuff as the stuff goes on. But, yeah, we plan to do it Friday. I'm not sure. Slev's got to really hit me up on that, and he'll probably hit me up sometime this week on what we're going to do with it. We already have the topic for the first episode, and I'll go ahead and tell you guys. And that is, really, it's hard to sum it up in one word. So the topic for the first episode is going to be what wrestling gives us fans, and why it's different from what makes it stand out like from other forms of entertainment, and why does a fan base gravitate to it? Why is there that fan base compared to football or soccer or any other sport or any other form of entertainment for that matter? Like, why is it wrestling that people gravitate to, or why is it wrestling that this fan base gravitates to? So you're going to hear both of our perspectives on that. You've heard me talk about what wrestling gives me before, especially in that 7-hour stream that we did. But I'm excited to hear Sleb's side of things, considering that he was around during the WWF and WCW days, the glory days of wrestling, if you will, and it's totally different for him, because he's obviously watched it longer than I have, and I just kind of want to hear his perspective from the fans' perspective on what he thinks wrestling gave him as a form of entertainment. Like, why did he become a fan of wrestling? Like, what was it about wrestling that got him into it? And every fan has a different story, so it'll be interesting to hear his story on that, and we'll definitely talk more about that on Friday. So I'm really excited to do this. It's going to be something wrestling related, so it's still going to be the huge for Botch TV. You're probably just not going to see the WWE 2K stuff, because I want to do something different that is wrestling related, that is not necessarily playing the WWE 2K games. So I'm really excited, and I really hope that you guys really dig it, and we'll just see how it goes. We'll probably need I would like a 3 to 4 episode threshold, and that being the threshold being that way I get an idea of how I want this series to go, or how I want this thing to go. I know for a fact it's going to be exported to YouTube. So the episodes are going to be exported to YouTube. It's going to be in its own playlist, just like the RCW stuff is, so that you guys can watch it over again. And my YouTube is at Botch TV. You can find it in the panels. I definitely need to make a command. I keep forgetting to make a YouTube command so that you guys can get a direct link in chat that way instead of having to go down to the panels. So feel free to subscribe there and catch anything else that I put on my YouTube. So.
From Manhattan, New York,
there it is.
130 pounds.
Why is it so freaking? Why is it so freaking loud? I had it not in my OBS settings, but in my freaking speakers. It was freaking loud. I had to turn that down. Holy crap! But we're all good and dandy. So, with that being said, I really think it's gonna be it's gonna be a new experience. It's gonna be fun, and I love it. I barely heard it. Oh my god. Well, I haven't even changed anything in the... I swear, when somebody typed in that command for the first time and I was getting ginger ale, I could hear it from the kitchen. That's how loud it was. That's how loud my computer was. I could hear it from the kitchen. So, with that being said, I'm really excited for, that series and that whole entire podcast, because, it's kind of cool, and it would just be kind of interesting to do instead of doing, these 7-hour just chatting streams. It would kind of be very interesting to divide that up into 2-hour episodes, have guests on the show. I know I want my buddy John on the show as well, we hope that you guys come out to it. In terms of the scheduling of it, is it going to be the same as my other streams, 1 o'clock, whatever? Depending on if I'm going to have a guest on the episodes. My aim is to have a guest on every episode. I don't know if Slev and I are going to make this a regular thing where he's going to be on the show 99% of the time. I chose him because not only is he a wrestling fan, but he's already done podcasts with Tony, so he kind of knows how to set that up with OBS and everything, with his transition and with his screens and stuff like that. So depending on the scheduling of the guest and how we're going to do it then we'll go from there. I will make sure to let you guys know on my Twitter, and stuff like that when we're going to go live with that. And I'm really excited just because we had such a great conversation in that 7-hour stream of me just chatting and with you guys. And I really think that with having somebody else offering their own perspective on stuff, it further opens up the discussion. So without further ado, let's get started with what you guys came here for, and that's for the matches, as we start with Seth Rollins and Mustafa Ali. So it should be it should be fun, and I'm really excited to actually get it going and to start it. I tried to do something like that in college on my radio show, and it didn't really work out too well, mostly because my partner was an idiot, but with Slev being an avid wrestling fan as he is, I guarantee it's going to be fun, and I guarantee that you guys are going to like it as well. By the way, after this match, I'm definitely going to show you guys something. I have to get it up on stream. It's something that happened on Twitter last night. At 11:59 in the evening, almost midnight, I was up till probably 3 in the morning this morning because I'm always up all the time. I'm a night owl, but something happened, and I think you guys are going to freaking love it. If you're a member in my Discord, you've probably already seen it, but we have the former RCW Carnage champion here in Seth Rollins making his way out to the ring here. By the way, if you're wondering what music that was in the starting soon screen, that is just a live stream that I found. I just searched no copyrighted music on YouTube, and I came up across this live stream that just plays it for like 24 hours, 24/7. And it's freaking awesome. All like EDM stuff, all stuff that I'm really into. So yeah. As they have Mustafa Ali, a former RCW Carnage champion as well, in his own right, making his way out here to the ring against Seth Rollins here. So this should be a really good match to start off the show. We also have Brian Outlaw competing tonight against Zero, which that should be really fun as well. Also with this podcast, I plan to have some merch made. Obviously, Tony with the Brew Boys, he made his own merch, so I think it would be a great thing to have for his own, for having some merch too as well. What's up, John? How's it going, buddy? So I'm really excited to do that podcast for you guys. So we're going to try to aim for Friday. Like I said, I'll let you guys know what happens in regards to that, as Seth Rollins starts off with a sling blade here against Mustafa Ali and a standing shooting star there to Mustafa Ali. But honestly, I think it's going to be a real fun conversation to have with Slev, and to, and for all you wrestling fans to chime in. And in this podcast, it also will give us an opportunity. It will also give us an opportunity to actually mention some, not necessarily controversial things, but some things that have been really grinding my gears lately in the wrestling world, mostly having to do with wrestling fans. So, it'll give us an opportunity to talk about things that are actually going on in the wrestling world, which is pretty awesome. So, even if you're not a fan of wrestling, like if you just want to hear a really good discussion and, just to be a part of something awesome. Like, it doesn't matter if you know diddly squat about wrestling, you don't know anything. It'll give you a chance, one, to learn something. It'll also give you a chance just to think about, how certain aspects of wrestling apply to other aspects of entertainment and media that you may consume in your everyday life. Exact, and that is one of the things that I will definitely bring up in one of the episodes, John, is Renee Young absolutely getting blasted for her commentary. And I love Renee Young. I think she's fantastic. Not necessarily in the commentary-wise, I just think she's a cool person, and I think it's kind of messed up that fans are just... that quote-unquote fans are bashing her on commentary when they probably couldn't do any better. I mean, you know, when I commentate stuff for this, you know, I consider it way different than being able to do it live at an actual show that's actually happening. You know, it's... And I think a lot of people just don't simply realize that. That's Seth Rollins going for the big super kick here on Mustafa Ali. This is a great match to start this show off here, but, you know, that is definitely one of the things that we will bring up in the podcast as well, so I'm really excited to bring that up as a curb stomp to Mustafa Ali. And Seth Rollins looks to end this fairly quickly, and Mustafa Ali with the kick out at 2.5, and he's still in this matchup. As Seth Rollins stomping away here on Mustafa Ali, but Mustafa Ali with the arm drag firing back here on Seth Rollins. And as you can see, the blood on the forehead of Mustafa Ali, but that doesn't seem to faze him at all as he throws Seth Rollins to the outside of the ring. A shot to the back of Seth Rollins. I know Seth Rollins has had issues with his back in the past, but this is not going to help as a suplex there on the outside. And it's definitely not going to help Seth Rollins with his back issues there. It's only going to make them worse. But he should be okay. As he is called the Kingslayer as well as the Beast Slayer after all, in a simple body slam there. To Mustafa Ali, but Mustafa Ali firing back with a reversal uppercut there. And now Seth Rollins climbing up to the top rope, possibly baiting, trying to knee the referee. I'll read that message in a second here as we get a neck breaker here on Seth Rollins. But honestly, like, if you want my honest opinion on it, I just think it's just BS and just a waste of breath, honestly, for fans to do that. 1, 2, and Mustafa Ali with the kick out. But, you know, it's honestly, it just amazes me what wrestling fans do when it comes to wrestling. And insulting the wrestlers, doing whatever, thinking that they know everything. Like, me as a wrestling fan, there's some things that really piss me off, but I shut my mouth because I'm not in the wrestling business. I know a lot about it, but I'm not in it. I know a lot about it. I know quite a bit, but I don't do it. I don't live it every day. You know, I do this stuff, so I consider it somewhat of a thing, but at the same time, I'm not out there putting my body on the line. I'm not out there live doing something, you know. Exactly. Commentary is not easily by any means, but to call out the commentator who isn't doing play-by-play and call her trash is unfair and incredibly rude, especially if she has never done the job before. Commenting on a live show for 3 hours. Yeah, it's exactly. She's never done that. She's only been an interviewer backstage, and that's it. And Seth Rollins delivers a huge knee to Mustafa Ali. 1, 2, and Mustafa Ali again with the kick out. And Seth Rollins cannot get the heart of RCW to stay down here. Heart of SmackDown Live, heart of 205 Live. Now he's the heart of RCW here. And Seth Rollins is fired up with a comeback and a sling blade. And here comes another super kick there to Mustafa Ali. 1, 2, and no! Mustafa Ali again with the kick out. Mustafa Ali refusing to go down, but Seth Rollins again with the huge knee again on Mustafa Ali. And Mustafa Ali with another kick out. And Seth Rollins is beside himself right now, trying to figure out what he has to do to get the heart of 205 Live, heart of SmackDown Live, heart of RCW to stay down. And now Mustafa Ali ascending to the top rope, looking for that reverse 450, the 054 here on Seth Rollins. 054 on Seth Rollins. Goodbye, Seth. 1, 2, and no, Seth Rollins with a kick out of his own. And Mustafa Ali is fired up from that as he gets Seth Rollins to come up here. Now Mustafa Ali here on the comeback, trying to get back in this match, and it looks, by the looks of it, he's really helping himself out there. An Irish whip into the corner to the Beast Slayer Seth Rollins. Just a shot to the face and an Irish whip into another corner and a huge forearm. And now Mustafa Ali just trying anything that he can to get the King Slayer, Beast Slayer, whatever you want to call him, to stay down. And he's ascending the top rope again, getting ready for that 054 again. 054 a second time on Seth Rollins. Into the cover. 1, 2, and no, Seth Rollins again with the kick out. And this match definitely has been quite the match here to start this one off. It's been a kick out after kick out after kick out. What a kick out fest we are having here, but wouldn't have it any other way between these two men, as these men are two former RCW Carnage champions, and a suplex to Mustafa Ali to get him back in the ring. And Seth Rollins just trying to figure out what he needs to do to keep Mustafa Ali down, and Mustafa Ali thinking the same way about Seth Rollins, but Seth Rollins with a big elbow drop from the top rope into a cover. 1, 2, 3, and Seth Rollins got him. Seth Rollins got him off the elbow drop. I didn't think that was going to happen there, but especially after all the punishment that Mustafa Ali took in this match, but for some reason it only took an elbow drop for Mustafa Ali to finally go down for the 3. But what a match between these two to start this one off. And Seth Rollins celebrating his victory as Mustafa Ali rolls out to the outside knowing that it's over. But give full credit to both of these men, but especially Mustafa Ali, for all the punishment he endured in this match. And especially that comeback towards the end of the match there, but it wasn't enough to take down the Beast Slayer. But definitely on Mustafa Ali's part, that's probably one of the best matches I've had to call yet. And here we are with Hyde Rock debuting here against the Lucha Bros in Pentagon Jr. and Phoenix. So this should be a real good debut match here for this tag team here, as this has been the long-awaited debut of these two. It's the Battle of the Luchas, for sure. And I'm excited to see what these two are capable of against a decorated tag team like the Lucha Bros, who have been tag teaming together for a really long time. And perhaps, I know it's kind of too early to say this, but if Rock and Hydro are able to prove themselves, I could definitely see them being RCW Tag Team Champions in the future, as those titles are in the hands of an unlikely tag team in AJ Styles and Max Mercury, AJ Maximum. But we'll just have to see what happens here in regards to that. But once again, I was very skeptical about the podcast at first because I wanted to do it, and I've wanted to do it for a while. I kind of missed doing the radio show, but at my college, but I don't want to go back for reasons, for a lot of reasons. But I wanted to do something, and I've been listening to a lot of wrestling podcasts like JR's Grillin' JR and Steve Austin's podcast. There's a lot of podcasts that I've been doing that I just really want to, that I've been listening to that just really interest me. And to sit down and to talk with an avid wrestling fan such as Slev it's going to be awesome. I don't know if I'm going to have Slev on for every episode. I would definitely love to get my buddy John here on episodes. We both have Discord, so that's probably the way we're going to do it with Discord. But it's something that I've really been thinking about doing for quite some time now, and I honestly hope that we are able to do something amazing with it, and I'm hoping that it's something that you guys will enjoy. It's something different, like I said. It's something, and that's what I really want. I wanted something different in regards to wrestling, that is wrestling related, and because of the just chatting streams that I've been having so much fun doing as Rock takes down Pentagon to start this one off. But I just think it would be really awesome just to simplify those streams, and instead of having those 7-hour long talks where I just talk at you, not that I view it that way, but I think that some people can view it that way. I'd rather have somebody talk with me and for us to have a certain topic instead of just fumbling around. And I think definitely one of the topics that that I want to touch on, that I think I would like to talk to Slev about, and if we actually, because he does the Brew Boys podcast with Tony, so if we actually make this a regular thing where we have Slev on the show, we'll have a bunch of different guests on the show, but if we make it sort of a regular thing where we have Slev on the show every once in a while, and then or mostly all the time, and then we have guests here and there, other guests such as John or anybody else that would like to join us as part of or join me rather for that discussion, and it kind of gives you an opportunity for you guys to ask questions about RCW and to ask what I do for this show as well. Rather than that 7-hour stream, we'll have certain segments where we talk about our topic and then we let you guys chime in. We kind of stop for a bit, halt for a bit, and then we have a section where you guys can chime in. And I think that's going to be I think a podcast could work as a structured form of those 7-hour streams. Yeah, exactly. And that was the whole idea. It was essentially to apply more structure to these, and yes, it's not that we didn't have topics for those said streams, as Rock lands a huge super kick here on Pentagon and tags in Hydro here. But it's not that we didn't have topics in those 7-hour streams. We did. I just think it would be more simple and more fun to have maybe a 2 to 3 hour stream where it's just me and somebody else talking about whatever it is, whatever wrestling topic that we have. And plus, it would give a chance for you guys in the chat to talk with us. And whoever I have on the show, whether it's Sud, whether it's John, whether it's somebody else that I know that streams or whatnot or whatever, and maybe it's somebody that I know in real life, like John, as well as to have whoever it is, whoever that we have on the show. It's just a sort of an idea to open the discussion that we have on wrestling, whether it's women's wrestling, whether it's RCW, whether it's UWGP, which is John's show, whether it's the wrestling gaming community, whether it's getting over, building characters. There's so many subtopics of wrestling, like I said, that we could easily get into on this podcast. And I think it would be pretty insane and just all around fun. And I'm excited to see what comes of it. And I hope that you guys will enjoy it. Because as much as I love doing RCW and the SmackDown and Raw Universe modes, I think every once in a while just having a discussion with you guys. I find that to be the most fun here, is having a discussion with you guys on stuff. Because, you guys just ask such amazing questions. And I will definitely open the topics to you guys. So, for example, if we don't have a topic already in mind, I will do a poll in Discord. I will do a poll on Twitter, on those two platforms, and you guys will choose from those two topics. And we will have, just that decision there. As Rey Fenix reversing a huge move here from Rock, and Rock again taking down Phoenix of the Lucha Bros. This will be a great win here for the debuting Hide Rock tag team here in RCW. Imagine beating the Lucha Bros on your first night. Not many people can say that they've done that, so it'd be great for them in the long run. But Rey Fenix putting a stop to that as he DDTs Rock there. And a German suplex to Rock. Uh-oh. Looking to work away on the arm here. Rey Fenix working away here on the arm of Rock, slowly damaging that arm. He's been in that submission for quite a while now. Rock manages to get out of it, and Rey Fenix taking down Rock once again. Now the key here, with these two tag teams being high-flying luchadors, you got to slow down each other. And a big splash there from Phoenix. 1, 2, and Rock with the kick out. But I would think with these two tag teams, it's just about who can slow the other tag team down. Oh, but Rock lifting up Phoenix. Look at that strength and slamming him down there. A little bit of shades of Braun Strowman there, but what's Rock going for here? Lifting up Phoenix here. Dropping him down face first. Going into the cover as Pentagon making his way here into the ring, and Pentagon with the breakup though. And Hydro taking a shot to Pentagon in that big uppercut there. And now Rock is on the comeback now. And Rock with the kick to Phoenix. Oh, tried for that super kick, but no, Phoenix got out of the way. Irish whip into the corner now, and now Rock realizing that he might be in some huge trouble. Here's a big kick right to the face. Ooh, but Rock turning it around. Rock turning it around, though. Tried for another super kick. But Phoenix got out of the way at an elbow. What a reversal fest we're seeing here. And finally able to take down Phoenix. Now tagging in his buddy Hydro here. Hydro hasn't been in this match for quite some time now. And now gives chance for Rock to take quite a bit of a breather there. And taking down Phoenix again. As Pentagon, as you can see there, making his way back to the apron. But this is exactly what these two want here. Keep Ray Phoenix in here. Trying for a double team, but no. No double team today. But I think trying to go for it again and tags in Rock. Drop down and a big stomp to the back. And a big kick to the side of the head or a knee there. Couldn't quite tell from the angle, but got the job done though. And a huge super kick again to Phoenix. And I think they're looking to just end this thing right here. Rock looking to end this thing. Tagging in Hydro. Ooh, a kick from Hydro there. What double team work there? From Hyde Rock and Pentagon. Again, once again breaking up the pin, but Rock with the DDT. Now it gives Hydro a chance. Gives Hydro a chance to end Phoenix here. Lifting up Phoenix and dropping him down with that power bomb. Dropping him down with that power bomb there. And Hyde Rock gets the win over the Lucha Bros in their debut here on RCW. Wow. What a debut for these two guys. Knocking off a tag team like the Lucha Bros. Let's catch some of these replays there. What a kick there from Rock. Right to the face of Phoenix. And Phoenix was in that match for a lot longer than Pentagon was. And the same thing goes for Rock. Rock was in that match where Rock was in that match for quite some time there. Sorry, lost my train of thought there, but you know, how amazing were these two against the Lucha Bros, and I'm pretty sure they could definitely make a name for themselves in the tag team division. As we move on to our next match, and let me get caught up on chat here while this thing is loading. Here, let's see. You can have a segment where we express thoughts on WWE, a segment for AEW, New Japan, and any other promotions. A segment for RCW and UWGP, whenever I got a juicy tidbit, then a segment for answering questions. That's a good idea. Definitely a good idea. I think it would be really cool for the podcast, and it doesn't have to be every week, but I have a segment where we discuss the simplicity and storytelling of certain rivalries, like an in-depth analysis from our point of views and how these rivalries impacted the wrestling community. I would love to analyze. That is a great idea. That is a great idea. Both are great ideas, but I definitely love the idea of being able to analyze rivalries and really not necessarily just analyzing them for how good they are now, but the impact that they had on the wrestling community, like you had stated there. I think there's a lot of rivalries that I can think of, like the Stone Cold and Rock rivalry, the Paige and AJ Lee rivalry, the Becky and Ronda rivalry, and the Gargano and Ciampa rivalry, and many, many other rivalries that have happened recently that really have revolutionized how rivalries are. And I think one of the rivalries that just comes to mind outside of what I've already mentioned is the DK and Hardy Boy rivalry in TNA. That rivalry when Crazy Steve and Abyss and Rosemary debuted, and they were heel, and they had that feud going on with Jeff Hardy, Brother Nero, and Matt Hardy, and I think that's where Rosemary learned a lot of her promo, I guess, extraordinaire, or her promo knowledge was through Matt Hardy. Because in my opinion, Matt Hardy's probably has one of the greatest characters ever in wrestling. The way he does his gimmick and stuff like that. Same with Bray Wyatt. I really think that he's got something special, and I think when you work with guys like that, somebody like Rosemary, who was just new in the business in that time, I think that really impacted her and impacted her character, and how she was able to get so good at promos. She actually, I haven't watched the most recent episode of Impact yet, but I watched the segment with her and Tanya Valkyrie in the little backstage thing there, and I noticed that Rosemary had something new to her face paint. Now it's like painted, like it's the same spot, but now it's like painted towards down her jaw. Now she's got the teeth now towards her jaw, which I think is really cool. I just noticed that. I thought it was kind of different. Like the Shield rivalry too, with Dean Ambrose and like that rivalry that we were talking about a couple days ago. That can lead into some fantasy booking. Exactly. I think that would help out our shows as well. A lot of good ideas, John. A lot of good ideas. I'm really excited to really start this podcast, and it also is another way that we can bring the community together. One of the things that I may do, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but you can actually download your VODs, your Twitch on demand things. You can download those. And you can like edit them. They're like actual videos, like you can download them and to download like 2 or 3 hour long videos. I mean, that's a lot of gigabytes for a computer, but I'm not I was thinking, I don't know what your thoughts are on this, but maybe not every time, but if there's a specific, maybe I can send, I don't know where I'm going with this, but anyways, I'm thinking maybe because you're so good at video editing, I'm thinking I could easily somehow maybe get a podcast to you where maybe like send it to you in some way or however to go about that, and maybe you can like with your editing skills you can edit certain sections and make those into little videos like for our RCW and UWGP page, when we start talking about like booking and how we do and the segments that we have on like our shows, like the idea that you just mentioned, and that way we can also give more of an insight on how things are done. I think that would be really cool, and I think that would make our shows stand out and make people want to watch our shows by hearing us talk about the behind the scenes stuff, because you'd be surprised with the stream that I had, with the 7-hour stream that I had, and a couple of the streams that I've had where I've just chatted and talked about it. A lot of people are intrigued about it and they want to see it because they hear me talk about it. And I think it would just bring, like, it doesn't have to be like a long video, obviously, because you can obviously take 2 to 3 hours worth of footage or however many hours of footage. I know that's a lot of footage to go through. I know that's a lot of footage to go through, but I'm just saying, like, breaking up the podcast into like backstage segments, if you will, into like little tiny maybe 5-10 minute videos where, you know, there's a specific segment where we talk about how we do, how we create a compelling storyline, or the ideas. Maybe we talk about storylines that we've done in the past, because I've done that with the 7-hour chat stream that I did, where I talked about the season 2 storylines of RCW and how that was booked and the idea that came about for that. So, you know, maybe depending on what segment we want to put on there, like, you can choose whatever we do. But the segments that we have for RCW, no matter how small or big that is, and we start talking about maybe how to make a great rivalry. Like, maybe we have one of the segments where we talk about, you know, like one of the segments that you were talking about where, you know, we could talk about rivalries that weren't great, that could have been. And then, but I could still break them apart for your channel if that's what you want. For the YouTube side of things, I was thinking of just putting the whole podcast on YouTube, because I want everyone to watch the whole thing. That's what I was thinking of. But in terms of our Facebook page, we can just cut out the segments talking about our 2 shows and how we book the shows and how we do the things that we do for our shows. Because, like you said, I really think that can really draw in a lot of people and really maybe possibly inspire other people to do their shows. Or maybe if people have questions on what we do, they can go to that specific video and watch it and you know, get some insight. Just some ideas that I have for, you know, our Facebook page and stuff like that, and just to further our channels and further our promotion, if you will. But with that being said, we're going to continue here with our show, and that is Mercy Phantom facing up against Alexa Bliss. After beating the women's champion in Noelle Diamond, she looks to possibly gain even more momentum heading into the Liberation RCW pay-per-view. We can have the rivalry talk using examples from our shows to get them over. Exactly. Exactly. My thoughts exactly. My thoughts exactly. Zero! Good to see you in here, buddy. Thank you for the lurk, my friend. As the self-proclaimed goddess of WWE makes her way. And honestly, on a very professional note, she is a goddess. I mean, just look at some of her Instagram posts. Like, good lord. There's no way Alexa cannot look like a goddess. In the most respectful way possible. Alexa is very, very attractive. Even when she is heel and she's mean. I actually think it's better when she's mean. But that's just me. As Mercy throws Alexa down by the hair there, and the referee's got to definitely get some control on that, as Mercy's got a temper of her own and stomping on the arm of Alexa Bliss. And a leg drop there for the goddess of WWE, goddess of RCW now, but who knows, maybe Alexa could become champion one day at a monkey flip. I remember that. I remember that. A little kid smacked her ass. Yeah, I remember that. I mean, I wouldn't do it, but trust me, that doesn't mean I'm not thinking about it. I mean, I'll tell you a story about my grandfather and why my grandfather and I are so close is not only did he call me this morning, he's been out of work for 2 months because he injured himself at work. He is completely fine. He's okay, but he is unable to work. But there was one instance where him and I were watching wrestling together, and he used to watch it way back in the day with Hacksaw Jim Duncan. And the thought would run through your head, yeah, exactly. Exactly. But anyways, we were watching wrestling together, and Alexa Bliss was wrestling, and he comes up to the TV, and Alexa's butt just was facing the camera, and he takes his hand, and he does a little thing, he's like, squeeze, squeeze, and I was like, oh my god. I was like, literally, Papa, you're not the only one that's thinking about that. You're not the only guy that's thinking about that, but, you know. Every day. Every freaking day. I'm telling you. Like, honestly, if it were me, I'd prefer Alexa go a little bit easier on the makeup, because she does not need all of that stuff. I've seen her without it, and she looks freaking hotter than hell without makeup on. I definitely highly recommend watching the, what was it, the WWE 365 network special on her, because I think you'll get a lot of, I almost cried, honestly. Hearing all that stuff that she went through with the eating disorder and everything, and almost dying and stuff like that. You know, that's freaking scary and upsetting. Because, you know, as somebody as beautiful as Alexa is, I couldn't imagine that, you know, she would ever feel that she's not. Yeah, she is plastered with makeup every week. I mean, it does look good, some of it does, but other times I'm like, nah. I'm like, nah, honey, you look good either way. But I thought the saddest thing was, well, that was a good reversal animation there. I thought the saddest thing was when she was talking about her eating disorder, and, you know, how she didn't feel like, you know, she was the perfect woman or whatever, or I don't know how she put it, but she did not feel like a woman, so she got breast implants. And it's actually, I think she like said something about a study about girls with eating disorders. They feel a lot better about themselves when they get like implants and stuff like that, like body wise. And it's kind of sad that she had to do that, but you know, hey, if she feels better about that, like, I'm all for it. But it was really sad having to hear that, you know, she didn't feel pretty enough. And so, you know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing with Paige and her whole situation. Like that, like that's really sad to have anybody feel that way about themselves, to where they feel like they need to change themselves or whatever, you know, that, especially on the women's side of things, you know, considering that it's a more prominent issue today than it's ever been. But in my opinion, Alexa's freaking a dime piece, so she's kind of not too bad to look at. Or impossible not to turn and look and take a glance. But I've taken more than a glance, as definitely I took pictures when I saw her in Rochester that one time. And she didn't have any makeup on at all when I saw her, which was even better. Because she looked fantastic. Like, even with the whole goddess gimmick, like, I was like, yeah, you're it's not a gimmick, it's a fact. It's not a gimmick, it's a fact. It's a straight up fact. I loved her in NXT. Not when she was prancing around with a little freaking skirt, though. I liked her when she was with Buddy Murphy and Blake. My brother put damn near all the women's asses. So, I mean, can you... Alexa's got it. Alexa's got it, so... Hey, use what God gave you. I'm not frowning on that. As Mercy looks for no mercy here on Alexa Bliss, but Alexa Bliss with the quick reversal tried for a clothesline, but Mercy ducked out of the way there. A little bit of a hip attack there from Mercy, trying to go for a cover here on Little Miss Bliss here. 1, 2, and Alexa Bliss with a kick out. Now Bayley, don't even get me started. I mean, Sasha's a dime piece too, but Bayley in the yoga pants, don't even get me started on that. Merciful on Alexa Bliss. And again, Mercy going for no mercy here on Alexa Bliss, and maybe this time she could finally connect. But no, Alexa Bliss somehow got out of it. And both of these ladies trying to find each other as Alexa Bliss takes advantage in taking down Mercy. Now just a simple working hold here. Mikey Too Spiky, thank you for the follow. Appreciate it. But yeah, Bayley, don't even get me started. I freaking love Bayley. Oh my god. I swear to God, she waved to me and I almost freaking... I freaking almost fainted. I almost passed out. I swear she noticed me. For real. I'd hug that any day of the week. And I hate getting hugs from people, but I would... I would definitely hug that every day of the week. Bayley definitely needs to put her hair down more. I think it's really attractive. Same with Rosemary. Rosemary with her hair down? My God. Oh, good Lord. Same with Sonya Deville, too. Sonya Deville, like, for God's sakes. I know she springs for the same team, but good Lord. Good Lord in heaven. I don't know why Bayley doesn't put her hair down, because I think that's really attractive. I really think it is. What is going on with Mercy's arm there? It looked like it was broken. What the hell is with Mercy's arm? Tell me I'm not the only one that just saw that. Oh no. And great Twisted Bliss. I wasn't ready for that. And Mercy with the kick out. I wasn't ready for the Twisted Bliss. I wasn't ready, Alexa. I wasn't ready. Great, now Alexa's going to go for it again. Going for Twisted Bliss again. Going for Twisted Bliss, but no. Mercy got the knees up this time. Sonya's the only gay woman that I... Honestly, yeah. Not in my eyes. Like, there's another one that I actually met, Lynn Gunn from Paris. I would definitely not give up on either. I mean, she's a dime piece in her own right. But Sonya Deville, though, good God. Oh, I thought she was going to chokeslam me. Oh, Alexa's having a little bit of trouble getting up to the top rope there. Alright. Trying to go for... Oh, I thought she was going to go for Twisted Bliss again, but I guess it was an elbow drop this time. Elbow drop on Little Miss Bliss. Okay. Merciful on Little Miss Bliss. Even though I call her something else. I call her Little Miss Damn. But, you know, a little bit of Friday there. What's up, Wolf? How's it going? But Jody Threat, John? Jody Threat, that's a dime right there. Not gonna lie. Thank you, Wolf, for the follow. Appreciate it. As Mercy hits No Mercy on Alexa Bliss, and Alexa Bliss with a kick out. And a kick right to the face. As again, Alexa Bliss tried for a clothesline in the corner there, but to no avail. But meeting Jody Threat was fun, dude. I swear to God, that was like my best wrestling experience ever. Besides when I got chest chopped by a female wrestler at an event. All because I asked her to. Because I wanted to know what it felt like, and it hurt like hell, but it was worth it. Hurt like hell, but it was worth it. I find Mandy Rose really attractive too, but I'm not gonna deny you Sonya's just as good looking. But yeah, I think for why don't you just jump off the ropes and pin her? Because there's a certain way I like to do my matches, man. As Mercy Phantom gets the win over Alexa Bliss. Oh, didn't push my water bottle thing down all the way. And with this win, she might find herself in a future title opportunity here against Noelle Diamond, as she did beat the champion after all. So this definitely might put her in a spot with 2 victories. It's good to see her back though. I actually find the women's wrestling a lot more entertaining than the men's wrestling. Just because of what they've been able to do in the matches that they've put on over the years. Especially like in indie promotions. Thank you for the host, Wolf. I appreciate it. I go nuts whenever I hear Rosemary come out. As we have a no disqualification match here with Brian Outlaw versus Zero. As Rosemary is in the corner of Brian Outlaw. As Rosemary is in possession of the soul of Brian Outlaw. As this has been going on for quite some time now. Brian Outlaw turning on his family. and Rosemary being behind it all in the end. Honestly, the only thing that would make wrestling, women's wrestling better is that if they were fighting over me instead of fighting each other. If they were actually fighting over me instead of fighting over some belt. Oh, Jesus. It's okay. I understand not everybody's first language is English, though. I understand that. There's people from America that can't even speak proper English, so hate to break it to you there, buddy. But there's people who live in the United States that don't know proper grammar and can't speak proper English, so you know, that's I'm totally cool with it. As long as I can read it for the most part and get the gist of what you're saying, I'm good. I think I'm good. What do I think about Nia Jax? I love Nia Jax. I think she's I loved when she won the championship. What was it, at WrestleMania? I think I've always liked her. You know, because she's kind of, obviously I feel like she's kind of proven a point that even girls that, you know, are bigger, you know, can make it in the wrestling world. You know, there's a certain stereotype about being a female wrestler, about looking like a wrestler, right? And I feel like, you know, there are certain women like Paige and Nia Jax that have been able to kind of, do you find it weird? They're almost Kelly, oh my god. Oh yeah. I love Kelly. How old is she? Is she like freaking I think she's in her mid-30s, right? Right? She's in her mid-30s, right? Just really? She's that young? Why'd she retire so early? She could have easily had another 10-year run, like you just said. Maybe she just doesn't want to do wrestling anymore? I don't know. I have no idea. But I agree, she could easily do a... I could definitely see Nia Jax going to the Hall of Fame down the road. Same thing with Paige, even though her career was short. Definitely see her going to the Hall of Fame just because what she was able to do in a short amount of time. And here comes Zero is in his Zero Tolerance shirt. You can get that shirt on my merch store. If you want a quick way to gain access to the merch store, you can enter the command store in chat by entering !store. And there you can access all of my merch products. A percentage of the money that you spend on these merch products that you see on some of these wrestlers in game goes to me to make the stream a lot better. You don't have to spend money. I'm not asking you to, but it's great if you do, because not only do you support me, but you also get some really badass merch too as well. Alicia Fox, I was never a fan of. Mostly because I thought that she was kind of annoying, and then she only has like 2 or 3 moves. She never really impressed me, but not to diss her or anything like that. But she was just never impressive to me, in all honesty. As Zero again trying to make its statement here against Brian Outlaw, tossing him into the turnbuckle. There's his whole slogan, zero tolerance. That's not just a finisher name. That's his slogan on life, zero tolerance. It lags too much, I'm going. Oh, probably because of the internet that you got there. It's understandable. I can't stand stuff when it lags, so, and buffers. It's annoying. Simple body slam there from Brian Outlaw there, as Rosemary is loving every second of this. Doesn't surprise me as a woman that is fueled by chaos and violence. And you'll notice that scar on the back of Brian Outlaw. I recently added that as part of his ring attire there. Trying to knock off Zero here, but oh, bumped into Rosemary there. A little bit of miscommunication there. Yeah, Paige, definitely she could have gone for at least another 12. AJ Lee left because CM Punk did. Or I think CM Punk left because of AJ Lee, and then they did. I was never too sure why AJ Lee left, but I know why CM Punk left. Like, he's very vocal about that. Why are you taking out the chair? Wait a minute. Why are you taking out the chair? It's no disqualification, my guy. Wait a minute. DQ is on? I thought I put no. Oh, okay. Okay, apparently, so DQ is on. I don't know why. But apparently it is on. Okay, so we're just going to roll with the punches. No pun intended. Brian looks for a guilty verdict here on Zero. That's a new move that he likes to use quite a bit and only gets a count of 2. I plan to have more of the My Career series between Luna Outlaw and Brian Outlaw out soon. I've just been really sick and been under the weather quite a bit and not feeling too well, so I haven't gotten a chance to record a lot more videos that I've wanted to do. But I'm well enough to stream today as a power bomb from the top rope there, or off the top rope anyway. Using the ropes to his advantage as Brian Outlaw looks to get any advantage he can against his opponents here. So he looks for the correction there on Zero, and Zero is down for the count for the time being. There have been no reports of AJ Lee coming back, but lots of people speculate that AJ could follow him. Honestly, I would love to see CM Punk in AEW. But I'm not getting my hopes on it just because, you know, I want him back, but at the same time, I don't want him back if he's not going to be happy where he's at. But I think if anything were to get CM Punk to come back to wrestling, it is AEW. It is AEW hands down. Uh-oh, Brian. You might be going for smashing Zero through the table. A red wedding through the table. Paying homage to Rosemary there. She must have taught him that. As now Zero is busted open now. However, this is no count out though. So these men can easily beat the hell out of each other if they do so choose. I agree, AEW doesn't need Punk, but wrestlers could definitely benefit from somebody like him. Being in the locker room, you know what I mean? With what he did with WWE and stuff like that, and just his character and everything, like all those guys. Sheamus, I was never a huge fan of, but I'm happy that WWE is able to find a way to use him, just like what they did with Paige. Personally, I miss Paige as GM because it was funny. Especially the segments that I hated James Ellsworth, but I thought those segments were cheesy, but Paige just made them entertaining. By like stroking his arm and James Ellsworth wanting a kiss from her. Let's face it, James Ellsworth. Let's be honest here. You're not the only one that wants to. There's pretty much every guy in the world that wants to that wants to kiss Paige. I'm one of them. I wouldn't say no to that. Hands down. As Rosemary's paying a little bit of dividends here for Brian Outlaw as he delivers a backstabber. To Zero here, and I think Brian's going to finish Zero with a guilty verdict, but no. Zero with a quick reversal. Taking down Brian there in the corner. And a big kick right to the face. From Zero there, but Brian kips up right back up to his feet there. Ooh, but Zero able to stop it though. Zero able to stop the momentum. But again, Brian just sniffing out everything that Zero throws at him. And a kick right to the leg. He can't get on the top rope if he's unable to use his legs. And I think Brian's going up to the top rope now. Brian with a splash there, but misconnected. Didn't know the trajectory of how long of a jump that would be. But somehow he still hasn't paid for it. And again, dragging him a little bit closer. I don't know how much closer this is. Looking for that elbow drop, but no, Zero moved out of the way. Yeah, that's what made Paige retire, spinal stenosis. Unfortunately. Looking for the correction there on Zero, but Brian couldn't lock it in as Zero sniffed it right out. And Zero dropping the leg on the arm. And now Zero looking to end Brian here with a super kick. Right to the face. 1, 2, 3, and Zero gets Brian despite Rosemary being there as sort of an insurance policy. Zero making a name for himself with 2 big victories since joining the RCW roster. There's a lot of hope for this man, and I hope that we might be able to see him as RCW World Champion one day. And with the Liberation pay-per-view coming up And with many matches to be made for said pay-per-view, I could definitely see Zero being in a title match in the future, if not at the Liberation pay-per-view. And we have a 2 out of 3 falls match here between CM Punk and RCW Carnage champion Randy Orton. Now, these two were in a match together at the RCW Turmoil pay-per-view, and CM Punk looked to ruin Randy Orton's dreams of becoming RCW Carnage champion, but that fell short as he misconnected with that elbow drop or some type of top rope move. It could have been a drop kick or elbow drop, can't remember at the top of my head, but he tried to go for a risky maneuver there, but it didn't go in his favor, which ultimately cost him the RCW Carnage title. But CM Punk looks to get right back in that picture there, as it's a totally different ballgame when it's 1v1. And CM Punk could definitely earn a future RCW Carnage Championship one-on-one opportunity if he's able to beat the champion here. But Randy Orton is not looking to wait here. Looking to ambush CM Punk from behind, and that's exactly what's happening here right now. And CM Punk in a world of trouble here as Randy Orton trying to gain an advantage before the bell is even rung. This match is not even official yet. And CM Punk with a Falcon Arrow on Randy Orton. And now with a drop kick to the back to the Apex Predator and Randy Orton. And the referee's telling them to get in the ring. And now the match is underway. 2 out of 3 falls. Let's go. And CM Punk is starting off. Maybe that attack from Randy Orton didn't faze him. When a slap to the face. A sign of disrespect from CM Punk and an inverted DDT. Ooh, but CM Punk got his leg grabbed in an enziguri there. With CM Punk going for off the ropes. And a big leg drop there to Randy Orton. Into a cover, not even a 1 count yet. This is a 2 out of 3 falls match. Anything can happen in these type of matches, so you have to make sure to not take your foot off the gas pedal and give your opponent an advantage in this match. CM Punk with a reversal and a kick to the midsection. Randy Orton here and a suplex to Randy Orton, and it seems that Randy Orton tried for an advantage, but it's not working out in his favor right now. But Randy Orton with the big drop kick. And CM Punk now rolling out to the apron. And a big shoulder tackle there from Randy Orton. And the count begins here. Randy Orton quickly making a stop to that. As now both men are back in the ring. Ooh, Randy Orton tried for a punch. But CM Punk caught him into a cover 1. And just a count of 1 there. Again, this is 2 out of 3 falls. So the match will not end. After 1 fall, it must be 2 out of 3. Just throwing Randy Orton down now. Punk with a couple of slaps to the chest, but Randy with the quick reversal. Dropping Punk now. And the signature Orton stomps. from Randy Orton. Uh-oh. And now Randy Orton is looking to take CM Punk to that place. Viperville RKO on CM Punk. But CM Punk with the kick out at 1. And CM Punk again with the kick out after a frustration pin there from Randy Orton. As most people are down for the count after just 1 RKO, but not CM Punk. Not CM Punk, and now CM Punk going for a GTS. Go to sleep. I've seen him hit this maneuver so many times on so many men throughout years of wrestling, and a GTS on Randy Orton. 1, 2, and Randy Orton with the kick out at 2.5. Both men kicking out of each other's finishers, not wanting to go down 1-0 just yet. Now CM Punk firing back here with 2 drop kicks and dropping Randy Orton. Uh-oh, Randy Orton's in the drop zone for the signature elbow drop here from CM Punk, and it appears he's going for that here. Elbow drop on Randy Orton. 1, 2, and Randy Orton with the kick out at 2. But it gives CM Punk some time now. CM Punk just walking around the ring, trying to get a feel for himself here. Calling Randy Orton to his feet here. And dropping Randy Orton into the Anaconda Vice here. Anaconda Vice here on Randy Orton. This is vintage CM Punk here. Anaconda Vice on Randy Orton. Trying to get the Viper to tap out here. To get the first fall in this match. And Randy Orton still hanging on somehow. Randy Orton's been in this hold for quite some time now. It's only a matter of time before he taps. But Randy Orton still hanging on as CM Punk trying his hardest to get the Apex Predator to tap here. And again, Randy Orton somehow getting out of the hold. But the damage might have already been done there, as Randy Orton was still in that hold, but a power slam. Randy was in that hold for a long time. It was Randy tried for a clothesline, but no. CM Punk saw that one coming. And CM Punk taking it to Randy Orton right now, but Randy Orton with an arm drag. And now Randy fired up. Power slam on CM Punk. Lifting up CM Punk here. Uh-oh. Looking for the cradle DDT here. Vintage Orton with that cradle DDT. And CM Punk is busted open from that. Strange not going for the cover, but now he is now. 1, 2, and CM Punk. He got it. He got the rope. He was on the rope. That fall shouldn't have counted. But the referee must have not have seen it before the count of 3 there. So that fall counted against CM Punk. A mistake by the ref, and now CM Punk finds himself down 1-0. But CM Punk looking to easily get back in this here, but an RKO mid-air. Tried to go for the elbow drop, and an RKO mid-air to CM Punk. And Randy Orton looking to end this thing. 1, 2, and no, CM Punk with the kick out at 2.5. An RKO mid-air. And CM Punk somehow is still in this. He tried to go for the elbow drop, but Randy Orton was able to get up really quick and able to hit that RKO midair. And CM Punk, just when I thought it was over, for the best in the world, CM Punk, he kicked out. What a match these two are putting on right now. But CM Punk still down 1-0, which means he needs 2 falls to win this. Randy Orton only needs 1 right now. And CM Punk with a quick reversal into a neck breaker on Randy Orton. A couple of stomps there. From CM Punk, and now CM Punk going to the middle rope and a big splash there. Possibly just toying with Randy Orton right now. With the stomps to the leg. Ooh, but Randy Orton got out of the way, but CM Punk taking down Randy. And now CM Punk trying to go for that elbow drop again. But he's got to hope and pray that Randy Orton does not hit another RKO there. And he's able to connect with that elbow drop. Looking to tie it up with 1 fall apiece. And Randy Orton with the kick out at 2.5. Again, Randy Orton getting out of dodge here, but CM Punk knows what he's got to do here. He's got to hit the GTS again. But Randy Orton with the reversal. Randy Orton with the reversal. Lifting up CM Punk though. Dropping CM Punk. And now the signature stomps once again. Vintage Orton. 1, 2. And CM Punk with the kick out. And Randy Orton is frustrated right now. And again, Randy's looking to take CM Punk to that place. Looking to take him to that place in an RKO. 1, 2. And no, CM Punk with the kick out at 2.5 again. RKO one more time. 1, 2. No, CM Punk again with the kick out at 2. It's CM Punk refusing to give up here in this match. And again, Randy trying to go for a cover again. And again, CM Punk proving why he truly is the best in the world here against Randy Orton. What a reversal there, and a clothesline to the outside of the ring. Trying to get a breather for the time being. What's CM Punk doing here? Calling Randy Orton to his feet here. Randy Orton's a little groggy, but tried for the elbow and connects with it. Uh-oh. What's Punk going for here? Whatever Punk's going for, it can't be good here. As he kicks Randy Orton there. Leaving him down, looking for the signature elbow drop, but a reversal there from Randy Orton is... But CM Punk got right back up from it. It seemed like it didn't faze him there. And again, CM Punk redecorating the other announce table. Taking off all the monitors there. That's some expensive equipment. And a knee right to the face of Randy Orton. And CM Punk looking for something special here. Going for that elbow drop, but over overextended it there. He jumped way too far. Jumped a little too far there. Realizing that, he breaks the count there. Breaking the count. Now throwing Randy Orton back into the ring because that's the only way he's going to get that pinfall there. But Randy with a reversal. And CM Punk again flooring Randy Orton. Trying everything in his power here to get Randy Orton to stay down and a roll up. Roll up here. 1, 2. And he almost got Randy Orton there. Over to kick. A kick there. Kick right there from Randy Orton. And Randy Orton again firing back. You can't let Randy Orton get back in matches. It always pays bad there for his opponents. And again going for the signature stomps here. Randy Orton at this point is just looking to end this thing. But CM Punk refusing to go down again. And mind you, CM Punk still needs 2 falls in this match. As he takes down Randy Orton. And now looking to go for the GTS. Looking to go for the GTS again. Lifting him up here. GTS on Randy. Into the cover. 1, 2. And Randy with the kick out at 2. Randy again refusing to go down. And CM Punk has to have lost it at this point. CM Punk doesn't know what to do. He's tried everything. But Randy Orton is just seemed to be fighting back in an RKO. 1, 2. And no, CM Punk again refusing to go down for the RKO. But Randy Orton gets him off. He got him off of the second cover there. It took as many RKOs as possible. I think I counted a total of 4, maybe at least 5 there to get CM Punk to stay down. But CM Punk couldn't get Randy Orton down for 1 fall there. I thought he was going to get Randy Orton there. From that Anaconda Vice, but Randy Orton was just too quick for him. As you can see that replay there of CM Punk going for that elbow drop. And it turned into an RKO. Like, everything was against CM Punk tonight. It seemed like CM Punk wasn't himself tonight. I don't know what it is, but Randy Orton just proved why he is the RCW Carnage Champion. But honestly, like, despite him getting an advantage before the match even started, like, CM Punk gave him for a run for his money there. But Randy Orton is victorious. Now, that is our show, guys, but before I let you guys go and let you guys do whatever you need to do today, whatever it is that you guys end up having to do as part of your everyday lives, like I said at the beginning of the stream, I was talking about it for a couple minutes. So, in regards to our, to the podcast and to the angle, which is what the podcast is called. Right now, as I'm hearing from Slev, he is available Friday. So, fingers crossed that we actually get that up and running. We might actually run a couple test streams, because I have many different scenes here set up in my OBS here, in Streamlabs OBS anyway. I have a chatting, like that starting soon screen, and that Be Right Back intermission screen there, and all of that stuff. And I need to set up a completely separate scene for it, completely separate settings with the mic volumes and the desktop volumes and all that good jazz. So it may take, I don't know, a couple test streams for us to make sure we get everything right. Obviously, Slev's going to be helping me out with that, since he's like a part of the show here, a part of that, the first episode of the podcast. My plan is to stream it right here on Twitch. It's going to be right here on Twitch, and then it's going to go to YouTube afterwards. As far as anything other, like I was mentioning earlier with Spotify and podcasts and Apple Podcasts and stuff, that's something that would be great to have. Obviously, that would be something freaking awesome to have. That's not on the radar right now. It would be cool for us to actually like have it on a platform like that. But I think for right now, I think YouTube and Twitch are just as good, if not. I think it's awesome. Plus, we have the VODs enabled, so you guys can watch the VOD of it afterwards, even though it's going to be exported to YouTube. So you guys can watch it that way. Like I said, I love some of the ideas that John has had in the chat here, like us talking about our shows and us taking different segments of the podcast about our shows, like UWGP and RCW, like us taking segments of that and putting it on our Facebook page. If you want a link to that Facebook page, it is down in the panels. It is under, I believe it's under socials, and it's marked FB, abbreviation for Facebook there, and you can access that. If you don't have Facebook, that is completely okay. That's just another thing to keep up with our shows. I also have a Discord, which I will put in chat right here, right now. You can join that Discord, especially if you're new here. It's just a good place to connect with me and to connect with other streamers of my community and the community that I've built, as well as I'm a member of the Avenger Friends streaming group, if you want to call it. They are a streaming group, and they're basically dedicated to helping each other out. It's basically just a support system. Everybody in Avenger Friends, like, if you become a part of that community, I know Bullet Dozer, Slev, Real Fat Tony, Boothy, so many other amazing content creators and other streamers that are a part of this community, and they're freaking awesome, guys. They're freaking cool. Like, after you've been hanging around in the streams for a while, in my stream, in any of their streams, they support you. Like, you show support for them, and you keep coming to their streams or lurking, whatever it is that you do to support their streams. They'll support you back, and they'll help you reach your goals. They're the reason why I am affiliate now. They're the reason why I really started taking streaming seriously. To know that we want people to know that there are communities like this out there, that like, even if you don't stream, even if you're just looking to be a part of a community of, gamers like yourself, you can talk to them. They have a Twitter as well. I believe they have a Facebook too. I don't know if they do or not. But don't quote me on that. But I know that they have a Discord, and I know that you can reach any of these guys. Like, you can reach Tony by going to his stream, going to his channel. Zinix, same thing, going to his channel. These guys are all members of the community, and they'll tell you everything that they know about that community and what it means to be a part of that community. And I think it's really awesome, because in a world where the internet has so much toxicity, and people love to voice their frickin' opinions on the internet, especially about stuff that they don't like. They won't tell you how much they love something, but they damn sure will tell you how much they hate something. Especially wrestling fans. Funny. But it's just a really good community to be a part of, and I'm so grateful to be a part of such a accepting and amazing community. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you stream or not. You could just create your Twitch account to follow people and to support people, because that's how I was. I didn't really take streaming that seriously. Like, I streamed, but barely. And then once I started to take it seriously and become a part of this community, like, the amount of support that I've gained and the goals that I've been able to achieve for myself because of this community is freaking awesome. But it's not only about yourself. It's about the support system that you get. You make so many friends through this community. I can tell you, like, everyone that I've made friends with, they're not terrible people. They're not. They're freaking amazing. They're awesome, and they're accepting of everyone that is respecting them and respecting their rules. Like, everyone has their own rules for their own channel. And I think it's really awesome to have that. I think it's really awesome to have rules and to have regulations and stuff, because if there weren't rules, if there weren't laws that we have to abide by, then, the world would be a crazy place. Honestly, I think we have our own laws, if you think about it. We have our own laws in the sense of, like, morality and stuff like that. Sorry, guys, I'm pouring my ginger ale here. The rest of it, anyway. But we have our own laws, and we have our own ways of doing things and stuff like that. And I think it's just a really great community, and I think it's, just a really good way to meet people. Years ago, I would have thought that I would have made so many friends that I have through Avenger Friends and just Twitch in general. Like, you don't realize all this stuff. Like, society alone doesn't realize this stuff. Society alone doesn't realize what Twitch can bring to people. They view the internet as an entirely bad thing. And I can tell you from experience that it's because you surround yourself with bad people. You let yourself be surrounded by people that are negative, people that are not going to help you. And I'd hate to say it, but most of the time we ourselves are to blame for the situations that we get in. Because we involve ourselves with toxic people, and we let those toxic people get to us. So, it's just a great community to be a part of, and I'm really happy to be doing this for you guys. And I'm really happy that we're going to be starting a podcast soon. We're going to be doing this, and I think it's going to be awesome. I will probably talk to Slev. Possibly, I want to get into contact with him before Friday. He's a really good friend of mine, so he's going to be the guest on the very first episode. And once again, for those of you that are just joining in, and I'm talking about this and you have no idea what I'm talking about, I'm thinking of doing a podcast with, with many different people, with Slev, John, with anybody that is willing to talk with me for a couple hours, give or take maybe 1 to 2 hours max, probably, on wrestling. And it's going to be called The Angle, and we're going to be talking about different aspects of wrestling, rivalries, booking, building characters, women's wrestling, and the revolution that has taken place. I can tell you guys that right there, the women's revolution in wrestling, that is going to be a topic on one of the episodes, for sure, because there's a lot to talk about there, and what women have done over the years for wrestling. So, I think it's going to be great, and I think you guys are going to love it. And that is an open podcast. What I mean by that is Slev and I are going to be talking about stuff, or whatever guest I have on the show. I'm going to end up talking about stuff with whatever guest I have on the show, but feel free to chime in, even if you don't know as much about wrestling as we do. Like, if you have something to say about what we're talking about, like, even if you don't know wrestling, but you think it relates to what we're talking about, feel free to say it. Feel free to put it in the chat, and we'll have a discussion. So, with that being said, as far as the alerts go, we will be hiding those alerts. We'll be hiding them for stream so that it doesn't distract us, or doesn't distract me, because oftentimes when I get distracted by something, I lose my train of thought and something goes wrong with it, and it just looks weird, and then I'm stuck for about 5 to 10 minutes trying to figure out what I was trying to say earlier. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna ignore the alerts, but I will have chatbot up, so I will acknowledge those alerts, and I will have you guys up and ready. And I think in the live tab here in Streamlabs OBS, yes, it does say that. Okay, yes, it does. So it tells me what happens. It tells me, whoever hosted me. So I will see it. I will see it eventually. I will definitely see it. And I'm excited for you guys to really just have something else other than this. Not that RCW isn't fun. I have fun doing it, but it just gives you an insight, like I was saying earlier when I was talking to John about our 2 shows. What a lot of people are interested to hear is how this stuff comes to life. And that 7-hour stream that I had with us just chatting, a lot of you guys that came out to that stream and that enjoyed it for what it was. A lot of the questions that I was answering was questions that I get asked all the time about the show. So, with that being said, this is an opportunity for you, as the viewer, to ask questions about stuff, to start a discussion, to ask questions. And I feel like in this format, in this podcast, 2-hour, 3-hour, whatever maximum format that we have, I really think it's going to be fun, because it gives us a chance to, for me to actually, because when I'm doing this, I have to focus on the match, and I also have to respond to you guys, which is not a terrible thing. It's not a terrible thing. I'm not saying it is. But it's difficult for me to read some of your guys' messages when I have something else going on. So with me talking with somebody else, it just kind of being just a chill thing. Nothing's really going on. Nothing like a match is not going on in the background or anything like that. Us just having a discussion and us just talking. It'll be a lot easier for me to read your messages, and just a lot easier for me to interact with all of you. And I think it's going to be fun. So Friday is what we're shooting for. The topic, once again, is going to be just what wrestling has given us. What wrestling has given me and Slev and so many other wrestling fans out there. That other forms of entertainment like football or just your average TV show can't give you. And what it's given me, and the power for me, and what it means to me as a wrestling fan, and what it means to Slev as a wrestling fan, and what it means to you and many others that are wrestling fans. So that should be a really good discussion. I'm excited to have it with Slev. I'm excited to have Slev on board for this. Once again, I'd like to thank him, first of all, for wanting to be a part of this, for wanting to join me on this journey and on this podcast. And plus, I'll get to know him more as a person as well. And I'm hoping to get to know more of you as well through this podcast. Because even though it is about wrestling and it's centered around wrestling, a lot of times in that 7-hour chat stream that we had, I was talking about wrestling, and I was talking about my life, relating it back to wrestling. So within that context, there's going to be a lot of times in this podcast where you're going to see things be about wrestling, but it's going to connect to something else, which is going to even start a further discussion, which is what I'm hoping that it does. I'm hoping that all of you, even though some of you may not be wrestling fans, can become engaged and feel like you're a part of the conversation, and I'm really excited to have that going. So I will probably talk to Slev either tonight or within this week, try and help me get a specific scene in Streamlabs OBS set up for this, so that we can possibly test things out, test certain settings out, make sure that you guys hear him, make sure that my voice isn't overpowering his, and get stuff going. So I'm really excited to do this for you guys, and I can't wait for it. It's something that's I've had an idea of. I just didn't necessarily like what I said on Discord. Like, I wasn't sure if this was something that was going to be official. I had to think about it, and I asked Slev about it, and I asked his. I kind of talked to him, kind of gave him the gist of it, and I said, I asked him if he wanted to be a part of it, and he's on board. I'm definitely going to have my buddy John on the show as well, so I'm excited to have everything worked out. And Discord, with Discord being the application that it is, and with how it is, I think that is what we're going to primarily use to carry on these conversations. We're going to use Discord, and we're going to just use our streaming equipment, obviously, but use Discord as the primary platform to carry out these conversations, and so that you guys can enjoy them. And I hope that you guys enjoy it with us, and I hope that you guys are here for the long haul. And for those of you that just followed me today, thank you, I appreciate it, and I hope that you guys enjoyed the content today. If you want to see any more wrestling content, it is on my YouTube channel at Botch TV, where you can find in the panels. I will be recording some more of the My Career Universe Mode series, as well as the next edition of Botched Calls with Rosemary and Tony Storm in a match. So that should be absolutely fun for you guys. Thank you, Big Killer 784, for the follow. Appreciate it. But I'm excited to see where this goes. I'm really excited to see what this podcast can do for us as far as the channel, and just to have a discussion, because I enjoy talking to you guys. I really do. I enjoy talking to you guys, and I enjoy, as much as I enjoy bringing the RCW WWE 2K wrestling content to you guys, I also enjoy talking about wrestling. So I'm really excited to start this podcast, and I hope that you guys can enjoy it. And I apologize for any difficulties we may have with the first episode. Obviously, it's going to take us maybe a couple episodes or a couple streams to get this up and running, but hopefully during the week, this week, so Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, up to Friday, which is the scheduled, we don't know, I don't know when we're going to go live with the podcast. That's all up to Slev. That's all up to him, because I know he works, so I will make sure to keep in touch with you guys. If you want to know when that podcast is going live, I highly suggest you go down in the panels there. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Instagram. I post on Twitter all the time, just random stuff, and sometimes when I'm going live and stuff like that, and whatever. So it's good for you guys to keep up with that. So I'm really excited, and I can't wait to see where this podcast takes us and where the conversation takes us. I'm excited to see your guys' opinions on the topics that we discuss. Every episode's going to be surrounded with one specific topic, and it's going to be cool having special guests on the show, having guests bounce off of each other, and having to bounce off your guys' opinions, and to have a really good civil discussion. Because a lot of times when it comes to wrestling and wrestling fans nowadays, there's no having a civil discussion. There's always an argument one way or the other, and we're hoping to have civil discussions on this podcast and to really open people's eyes about wrestling. And for those people that don't watch it, or that, those naysayers that say it's fake, and the people that hate on wrestling fans and people that hate on people that just to hate on people because that's what people do. We hope to also open other people's eyes to it as well, and sort of bring more people to what we love, and show people why we love wrestling, and why Slev and I absolutely love it, and why myself and my fan base loves it, and why you guys love this content, so that people understand us, and that people understand what this type of entertainment brings to us. So we're really excited, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. And with that being said, we are going to raid somebody. Let me just check to see here who we are going to raid here, just to see who's streaming today. So this should be real fun. And let's see here. We got Penny, we got Slayer, we got Tony. Ooh, Tony. We got Zero. We got Tidy. We got Killbro. We got Slayer. We got Ray Slider. We got tons of people streaming today. So you know what? I'm gonna be an amazing person here, and we are going to raid my pal Slayer, because he is freaking amazing. He's currently doing speed runs on the Lion King. He's been grinding that crap out for a while now, and I'm excited. He's a real cool dude, and I hope you guys enjoy his content. So that's what we're gonna do right now. We're gonna raid the hell out of him right now. Thank you guys for joining me, and see you next time.